Okay guys, welcome back. This is our final stage with our stock pulling tractor project. I'll show you what we've done. So here's the weight bars that we've added. Here's the one I put on the front with one of my weights. Just some 1x2 rectangular tube. I bolted it on. So if the next person that ends up with this machine has different weights they want to use, it's fine. They can unbolt it and put something different on there. You have a cotter pin that you lock in, keeps the weights from falling off. Same idea back here, guys. I got two sets back here. Now ideally, you want to have most of your weight back here as close to the axle as possible. That's where you need it. That's where you need the traction. We also have one here. Now, the book tells me that this tractor weighed 500 pounds when it was stock. That was with the mower deck and the other things that were on it that I took off. So my estimation is that this tractor now weighs about 400 pounds, give or take. Now in our league, we have a 650 pound and an 800 pound kids class, or stock class, whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna need to add a fair bit of weight to this if we have a fairly small kid driving this. So that's why I've added all these extra bars. They're also bolted on. So as I said, the next person that ends up with this, if they have different weights they want to use, they can remove those, or they can borrow mine. I'm perfectly fine with that. So that's where we're at, guys. It's ready to go. Oh, shifter lock. In talking with some of the more experienced guys with these types of transmissions, I don't know a lot about them. I know that the Cub Cadet ones are famous for popping out of gear. And some of the guys are telling me that this one will too. So I added a shifter lock in there so that it stays locked and it can't pop out of gear on you when you start getting a heavy load on it. And it's very simple, just flip it. Nothing complicated about it, guys. It's very easy to use. We've got our wheelie bars on, our hitch. Hey guys, so here we are, we're all finished. And I know everyone's wondering right now, what did this all cost me? Because we were talking about doing this on a budget. So I wrote down here what I spent on this project here. I paid $300 for this tractor. The guy was willing to let it go cheap because it wasn't running. Now you may pay a little more, you may pay a little less, it depends. Depends on what flavor of tractor it is, quite often. What condition it's in, etc., etc. That will depend. $100 for a new battery. Batteries have gone up in price just like everything else. $70 for a new set of belts. The carburetor was $40, as we had discussed. So the wheelie bar wheels, they were like 30 bucks. And for miscellaneous, I put in another $100. Nuts and bolts, which I had, but somebody might have to purchase that. Bits of rectangular tube, wire connectors, things like that. You're always going to have miscellaneous things that you don't think of, that you're going to need at the last minute kind of thing. So I threw in $100 for that. So total, I spent $640. Now, tires, we'll get into that in a second. $640 and this thing is ready to pull. That's pretty cheap entertainment if you ask me, guys. I don't know what baseball costs or hockey. My sons are grown and they're adults now. I can't even recall how much I spent on stuff like that. I know when my oldest son was in kickboxing, I spent thousands. So for $640, I got a machine that's ready to rock and roll. Now, how much you spend or how much you're willing to spend is going to depend on your commitment. And your resourcefulness. How resourceful you can be. Finding weights, finding some of the things that you're going to need in order to get this ready. If you're resourceful, it's not going to cost you near as much. But in any event, even if I was to sell this ready to pull for $1,000, that's still pretty cheap entertainment if you ask me. We have a tractor pull just about every weekend, and I think that's pretty cheap entertainment, guys. I really do. So, now the tires, I realized I had these tires. I did have to pay for them at one time. A brand new set of 26 by 12 by 12 pulling tires is probably going to cost you around $900, brand new. They've gone up in price also. However, as I had stated in one of the last clips, ATV tires work well. I have used them before. When I was in the stock class, I used them and they work okay. You can find a set of those for $100, a used set. So, like I said, that's going to depend on your commitment. The more fun you have, the more your commitment will grow. And that's how it worked out for me anyway. In the beginning, I didn't spend a lot. But as I enjoyed myself more and more and more, I was willing to increase the amount I was willing to spend. So that's going to be entirely up to you guys, how that works out. But basically, I spent $640 on this. It cost me a little less because I had the generous donation that I mentioned before from the Marshes. Thank you guys. Well, like I always say, make sure you walk before you run. And that's especially important in tractor pulling. Start out with something like this, stock, plain Jane, and grow from there. As you get better, as you enjoy yourself more, you're going to find yourself wanting to make modifications and more power and go faster and etc., etc. So that's where we're at, guys. Make sure you watch for the video of this at the next pull, probably in a week or so. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I hope this helped. We'll talk to you soon.